The drizzle is cold and causing a fog, and snow is close to being starting to fall. There's a crisp silence hung in the air, interrupted by the caller and the call. The settlers of the place took what they could and fled. The raiders sacked their homes and burnt them all to the ground. A few days later, a band of looters came and tread to see what remaining treasures could be found. The band of men rummaged through the charred ruins and placed anything of value in a common pile, except for shiny trinkets that each tried to hide, a reward for being lucky for a while. A looter pulled a sack from under some bricks. A doll necklace was found, with rosaries further down. Another sack was found with crude walking sticks. They caught the eye of a looter with a frown. The second looter recalled being in a church where a wall held rosaries, crutches, and a necklace or two. He remembered being there with people better than him and not being asked to leave from his pew. He exchanged the 2 sacks for a trinket he had found and headed for the mission church some 10 miles away. He ignored his companions when they tried to call him back. A fine drizzle fell and looked like it would stay. When he reached the mission, he knocked on the door. He gave the friar who answered the 2 sacks he had brought. The friar invited him to his table to eat and gave him a rosary that was simply wrought. The looter put the rosary over his head around his neck and headed back to his companions to give them a hand. When his companions saw him trudging up their way, they knew that he was now a changed man. One of them attempted to wound him mortally. The looter subdued him, but did no harm that would not mend. Another succeeded in wounding him for sure, but he was too subdued to wake again. The looter quickly headed in the direction of the church. There was nowhere else that he was able to go. When he was still way off, his wound got the best of him, and he could not continue, even slow. He saw a rough road that led to the mission, and fell to the ground next to the road, with his body failing. He entwined the rosary around his hand, held up by rocks, pointing to the road as if hailing. 2 friars came down the road towards the mission and saw the raised hand with the rosary firmly held. They could not save the man's earthly life, but hung his rosary on the church wall to be beheld. The drizzle is cold and causing a fog, and snow is close to being starting to fall. There's a crisp silence hung in the air, interrupted by the caller and the call.